Dream Body in 30 days, phase 3. I'm getting in the best shape of my life in 30 days. This is phase 3 and it is all about vision boards. And some people might think that's crazy because you just worked out for an hour. And I make sure to not only save it on my Pinterest board.
The house is a mess, which also makes me eat messy things.
I was so rebelling against that. And phase 1 is all about cleaning the house, getting things ready to flow with the identity of someone that is fit. Part 2 was about meal prepping and all of that. And this part is going to be about vision boards. So this is my process. I drink my first cup of coffee in bed every morning with something inspirational on YouTube on the TV. And then I have the laptop in front of me while I scroll through Pinterest and save pictures that inspire me. And usually I'm saving pictures that fit the next few weeks or months of my dream life. If it's September, then I'm probably saving some pictures that have to do with like cozy coffee places for autumn or autumn inspired looks and outfits. And right now in this 3-part series, I am all in the Mexico vibes. So I want to wear the cute outfits, I want to drink margaritas, eat delicious foods, get a tan, all of that stuff. The beach, the pool, those vibes. So the pictures that I will be saving will represent those things, of course. And I make sure to not only save it on my Pinterest board, but also in a folder on my laptop. After I've saved enough pictures, around like maybe 200 till 500 pictures, that's a lot, I know, I do this every morning. I go to a photo printing service, and right now I'm using smartphoto.nl. It is not sponsored. I've used other ones, doesn't matter. Just whatever you want. And I upload all the photos and place an order. And that takes about a week for them to get delivered, and that's the moment I get to have fun with it. I really hate those vision board days where you had to like search through all those magazines, which would take like forever and you didn't always get exactly what you wanted. But this way, it is exactly the quotes that I want. It is exactly the pictures that I want. I love this. And then I usually clear up space in my apartment on the floor and start a multiple day process of picking out the exact picture that fit my vision for the next weeks or months. And in this case, it was of course the weeks prepping before Mexico. So before Mexico, it was working out, eating healthy, all of that. I still have a few days of that. And then after that, it's all the Mexico vibes I want to have and experience. And the way I make my vision boards nowadays is that I categorize it in the upcoming weeks instead of a vision board for the whole year. So usually the one for the whole year is a bit vague for me. And I mean, yes, I love that as well. But in order to experience like the actual things I want, I make vision boards for like 2 or 3 months in my way. And then I'll have like a big piece of paper on the floor and start writing the weeks out with a pencil and the things I want to experience in those weeks. And then I start categorizing the pictures that go with those themes. I rearrange them, I cut them out, and then I make a draft, and then I start gluing it on the paper. And this usually takes a long time, and I really like that. I really like to take my time with it as well and put like a nice podcast on, or in this case I had a playlist made, Mexico 2025, to like really get into it and like really soak into the experience. And doing that is pretty much the highlight of my week. I love it so much. My dog was a bit confused of what I was doing, but yeah, she's used to me doing weird things by now. So I just had my Pilates class and now I am parked outside of my gym. And some people might think that's crazy because you just worked out for an hour at Pilates and then go to the gym. But this is the mindset that I want you to consider. Everything that normal people consider as crazy is exactly what keeps normal people normal. And I do not mean that in like a harsh way, but you got to realize things. You got to look around and see how many people have something that you want. And now, I'm not saying that everybody needs to want the same things, okay? I want a certain type of body, and when I look around, I think I see it on like 1% of people. I'm not saying that the other types of people are bad. I'm putting so much disclaimers, but I think I need to do this in a few videos so that new audience and everything understands. Like, it doesn't change your worth as a human being. I don't look at other people that don't have the body that I want as bad or worse or whatever. They're human beings. I just prefer, just like with clothing or a car or a brand or whatever, I prefer certain things for myself in my life. Just like I prefer maybe pizza over spaghetti, okay? It doesn't mean that people who eat spaghetti are bad. So I think I see that type of body on like 1% of people. So if 99% of people don't have that type of body, and I mean it in a healthy way, healthy type of body of that 1%, then if 99% of the people think it's crazy for me to go to the gym after my Pilates class, then I'm not gonna listen to the 99%, because of course they think it's crazy, because they don't have the thing that I want. It's actually the same with money as well. So a lot of people don't have the amount of money or the money flow or whatever as they want, and they would think like spending 500 euros or 3,000 euros on a course or on just advice from someone who has walked the path that you have had, they think that's like a waste of money. If I look at what they have in their life and how much money they have, if I don't want that, then I'm gonna try to think of it differently. I've spent 3,000 euros on courses. My Body Boost program for weight loss and everything, it depends on when you see this, because things are being added to it and the price will go up. Some people might think that's like a lot of money and not worth it, but then they will spend it on diet pills and all these kinds of shakes and all that are super expensive but never give them lasting results. So you gotta look around and see what the people say and do that have the things that you want, and just cancel out all the noise. Let's say I would go to Pilates and then I'll walk my dog for an hour, and then I do some groceries, and I live 3 floors up, no elevator, so I need to carry the groceries up. That's actually the same as me going to the gym, walking on the treadmill for an hour, doing some weights and going home. But because the context is different, people are like, oh, because now you're going to the gym and you're doing that for a certain type of body, then that triggers them. But if you're walking your dog or you're doing groceries, the things that you need to do, then it's normal. So think about it in that way. And because I think it was a few months ago that I walked out of Pilates and I was like, I think I just like want to move my body more. Like I got into the flow of moving. The hardest thing is getting up and moving. I was like, I think I'm not done yet. I don't want to go home and work behind my laptop. I think I have some more movement in me. And then I was like, no, that's crazy. You just did a workout. You're not gonna go to the gym after. And then I was like, then I questioned that voice in my head, like, why is that crazy? If I feel like I want to, why am I judging myself like, no, that's not normal? And that is because there's always this line of disorder thinking, eating, like wanting to be skinny against all odds, and against like even giving up your health and happiness. And like, I know me, I know that I'm not that person, but I'm like sometimes afraid of like, oh, if I do that, am I gonna get into that? But I know me, that's never happened. That's not gonna happen, because my happiness and my health are like the most important things. I'm a 34-year-old woman. I think I kind of know the essence of myself right now. It's also the same with like alcohol. Like, I don't drink a lot at all, but I have these phases, especially in the summer, that I like to have a glass of wine in the afternoon, not in the evening, because then I can get to be a little tipsy throughout the rest of the evening, and that's it. Like 1 or 2 glasses of wine and that's it. And then when I do that like 3 days in a row, I sometimes think like, oh my god, is this the way to alcoholism? Like, am I in danger? But if you're questioning it like that, I don't think, for me it isn't. Anyways, long story short, I'm gonna go to the gym because I'm like procrastinating, and there's a package that's being delivered in an hour, so I need to be quick and just move my body, listen to some nice music, dream away about Mexico, and then I'll be back. All right guys, I'm taking you guys along.
Bring me down, whatever. Call me off whenever. I got time, whenever now. You look great, however. This can't wait for the better. Let us talk forever now. 'Cause baby, you and I, we lay awake at night, trying to find a light to keep this fire alive. Oh baby, you and I, we can't deny this fight. Oh, this fight. I'm drowning in your arms, still I want it all, 'cause I deny it.
The house is a mess, which also makes me eat messy things. It's like, I don't know where to start, what to do. It's not productive. I need to clean.
So So I actually forgot to put this part in my previous video, version 2 of my 30-day journey to my dream body, which is all about meal prep. So you get a little bonus meal prep part in this video. You're welcome. I have a little over 1 week before I go to Mexico, and my fridge is kind of full with a lot of stuff that isn't categorized in meals. And instead of me just going grocery shopping and just buying whatever I see, I thought, let's get home first, put everything on the counter and just like rearrange them and assign them to different days, different meals. Also look at like until what date the product is still good to eat, you know, with yogurts and stuff. And then it's gonna make it so much more easy to not think about it for the rest of the week and a few days before I leave. And then I'll know I'll be in my calorie deficit, I'll get to my protein goal and all of that, and everything is assigned to a certain meal in a day. And I printed out a meal plan thing where I'm just gonna write it down so that I know later on in the week. Yeah, and everything else that I will need after that, I will go to the grocery store and get. But I think I'm gonna get pretty far with the things that are already in the fridge. The weather today is, I think this is like the first day that feels like spring here in the Netherlands. So it feels a little counterintuitive to not go outside, to stay at home and do all kinds of prepping. But this also reminds me of like, okay, when I get back from Mexico, the weather is going to be of course better here because it's going to be well into March, and I'm gonna want to be outside more because I will have a beautiful tan and just like experience Amsterdam, the city again after being away for a while. I always love coming back as well. So I need to prepare in that sense. So this is like a reminder, okay, when the weather is nice, when you see it in the weekly schedule, the weather is nice on one certain day, I'm gonna try to do as much work around it so that I can actually enjoy that day. And that's interesting. I've never looked that efficient and that structured towards my own work and business and whatever, because I just always felt such an aversion to schedules and structures and all of that, especially coming from a, how do you call it, I don't know if it's called a corporate job, but it's like a job where you're at the desk behind a computer all day. I think I had to have like some time to rebel against that, like some years to rebel against the years that I was just supposed to be there at 9 and leave at 5:30, and which, like, I don't know. So yeah, I think right now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I think I need to integrate some structure and scheduling and all of that within my life to reach next level goals. So I think I've reached a lot doing it this way, but I do see that there's a future me that has more things in order, and I actually enjoy it now. I used to hate meal prepping and then having to eat the same thing every day. I was so rebelling against that. I wanted to eat whatever I wanted on that day, and I wanted to decide on that day. Now it's more on the background of my life because I have that weight loss thing so in control, in order. Like, I'm focusing on other things in life. So I just know that if the meals are prepped, the workouts are planned, the Pilates classes are booked, like there's no brain power going towards that anymore. Like, what am I going to eat? How much protein does it have? I just use like one day and then plan that out for 4 days, maybe 7. Not always, usually it's like 4 days. And the rest of the time that opens up, I can work on creating the content, writing scripts. I'm doing 2 different side projects right now as well, which are pretty big and serious. So I have actually time and energy and brain capacity for that, which is amazing. Like, food is not the center of my universe anymore. Weight loss is not the center of my universe anymore. And because it's not the center anymore, I'm actually losing weight. I'm actually getting to my dream body because I've planned it, and then I don't think about it. I'll just follow my own plan while I'm doing other things that are really exciting to me. So that's an interesting take. I wrote an article a few years ago on my blog, which is in Dutch though, and it's called "Doing 99% is harder than doing 100%." And I will link it in the description below because I think it goes into this, like, while you're 99% doing something, that 1% that leaves it open, you get to get into discussions with yourself. Like, do I go to the gym? Am I actually tired? Do I want to? And that 1% is draining you. That the 1% that is open to discussion, open to, I don't know, changing the plans because you're not feeling it emotionally, you know? And now that there's no option for that for me, of course, like, I'm not that strict, but it's not the option that I used to have with like these little fussy little things that I would like fuss about that didn't really make a big difference in the grand scheme of things. Like, I was so convinced that I needed to wake up early and do a workout. Well, guess what? My early morning workouts are really crappy. I don't like it. I don't have the amount of energy to actually perform a good workout, and I don't want to do it in the morning. So, but everybody kept telling me like in the morning, then I have it done and I get on with the day. See, I have the luxury to not have to do it in the morning, and I like to do it also with like when I'm wearing makeup and stuff, because then I feel really good about myself when I see myself in the mirrors in the gym, working out, looking good. Like, I'm not gonna put makeup on and then go to the gym and then come home and wash it off. But like halfway through the day, I really like to then go to the gym and then afterwards come back, maybe eat something, do something, and then take a shower and take everything off, and then I have like another part of the day that's dedicated to something different that doesn't require me to like get ready or have makeup on or whatever. So that really like, it changed so much for me, and I wish I just knew that sooner. But I think it's like the thing people always say, like, you need to find what works for yourself, but that's like really, really true. Consume a lot of content, listen to a lot of people, and just pick out what you haven't tried before, or whatever you think that suits your lifestyle, your way of thinking, doing things. And I think that's like a really good way, instead of one person having something you want and then just like copying everything they do, because we're all different. And if you know human design, I don't know if you know that, it's based on astrology, so not everybody knows or believes that. There are 5 energy types, and I really encourage you to check out which energy type you are, because it's gonna make a lot of difference. Even with the weight loss game, it's absolutely game changing. Follow me on Instagram, because I share a lot about it on my stories and answer questions and all of that. And I also have a Dutch podcast about it. I will link that also below. My podcast is in Dutch. That's the only content I have in Dutch. I stopped blogging, but I've had a blog for about 9 years, and that's in Dutch. The rest of all my content is in English, just in case you guys wanted to know that. So let me set up the camera, clean the countertops, and then get everything out, and also open a window because it's hot. Like, I'm wearing long sleeves and a legging, and then I'm also like wearing long socks over the legging, so I'm sweating. And I also cuddled with the dog in our street, and it jumped on me. So yeah, maybe I'll just change the shirt. Look, it got really dirty, but you know, I have a dog, so I understand. And it's my own fault, you know? It's not the dog's fault. The dog was just really excited to see me, and I was excited to see the dog. So yeah, all right.
He's a nice guy and I might let him slide around by midnight, hands around my waistline. He's a nice guy, but I'm gonna let him know I don't waver, don't go.
So let's quickly look at some footage of me before going to Mexico. That's the before, and then the after.
Is it supposed to be something I should keep with? No, I lose all control. I can't let go. Wanna be alone. And in my mind, she's had her time. Send her off with goodbye.
I have never felt this good on a vacation, to be honest. And Even though I'm not at my dream body state yet, it was still the slimmest and fittest that I've ever been. And I let myself enjoy wearing all the outfits I wanted. I was feeling free, happy, and just so aligned with my purpose in this life. I love to romanticize my life in every way possible. I love to set goals and create systems that romanticize the process of getting things done instead of only dreaming about an outcome. And I am ready for the next challenge around my dream body journey. So tell me, what should the next challenge be? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss any content around my dream body journey, weight loss secrets, and more. Thank you guys for watching, and see you soon for a new video. Bye.